Welcome back to Ferocious Education. This is that. Today we're going to be talking about BRQS going by Borqs. Now make sure to drop a like to this video to help the channel grow, subscribe, and leave notifications on. And let's jump right into this one. So Borqs here, or Borqs, this one here is a 5G play based on their information on the website. They say who they are. Borqs Technologies is a global leader in embedded software and products for the internet, or the Internet of Things, IoT, providing customizable, differentiated, and scalable Android-based smart connected mobile devices and E2E cloud solutions. It was founded in 2007. Borqs marked its debut as a public company, debut as a public company in 2017. Now, as we go forward with different information, you'll get a better perspective to who they are. Now, some of the latest news that they did have on their website, now we get a bit more information on the SEC filings, but news-wise here, Borqs Technology to ship kids' smartwatch in North America. Borqs Technologies launched mobile smart tracking cloud solutions. Borqs Technologies sees significant increase in demand for high-tech mobile personality safety, and Borqs Technologies featured in research reported by Wall Street, etc. So for Borqs Technologies to ship kids and smartwatches in North America, that was back in April 24th. And it says the company forecasts to ship several hundreds of thousand units of the kids' smartwatches worldwide in the next 2 to 3 years. So that's what we can deduce out of this one. The next thing here is Borqs Technology launching the mobile smart tracking cloud solutions. This one here, the technology itself is called BeSmartTrack trademark and includes end-user devices, in other words, smartwatches and trackers, servers deployable on public cloud infrastructure, whether it's Amazon Web Services, for instance, or within the enterprise web protocols and companion application for Android and US smartphones. Next, Borqs Technology sees significant increase in demand for high-tech mobile personnel safety tracking devices for senior citizens. Again, back in April 20th. This is Internet of Things, and this is as much as the information you need to know. So the next is that they see a demand, that's it. Now, the next thing here, it was the report with a speculative buy that was all the way back in April 15th, 2020 with a 6 months target of 4 to 5. Now, it didn't hit that, but the price target still remains. Now towards the SEC filing, we get to see a lot of information there. Institutional buyers, especially LM Funding America, and I'll go how they have around 8.5% of the company right now. But basically, there has been institutional buyers activity, especially increase rather than decrease. Intel Core liquidated the entire position, but you get to see other names like Creative Planning, Virtual Financing, and Hightower in the last 2 months added just those alone around 130,000 shares. Next is in transaction history. You get to see insiders, nothing significant here to report about. Moving on. We get to see here on Borqs Technologies enters the agreement distinguishes debt totaling approximately 18 million to eliminate institutional loans. And this one is with LM Funding America, LMFA. And they committed to purchase about 18 million of debt in tranches, which we completed will eliminate the substantially all debt within the company's senior lender. LMFA will convert the purchased debt into common shares of the company, pursuant to a court order that allows conversion shares to be issued as an unrestricted security to transactions that it exempts from the SEC regulations. Now, upon full performance of the transaction, elimination of substantially all of the debt owed by the senior lenders, subject to the court orders and regulatory procedures. A standstill on potential actions against company by the senior lenders as long as the transaction moves forward in a timely manner. When the defaulted loans eventually are repaid, the company may be able to seek future financing at better terms. So we get a little bit of that information. We get to see they're about to be debt-free. This is the same piece of information relayed again. And then the next one is Borqs Technology signs official agreement for 5G industrial park project in South Tahu New area of Zhejiang province, China. Borqs Technology, going by BRQS, a global provider of embedded software and product for the Internet of Things, today reported that the company has signed the official agreement and cooperation with, the same province there for the 5G industrial park project. This project will be eminently in 2 phases. In the first phase, it's a 5G R&D center, and the production plant will be established The joint venture will be provided a rent-free facility of 5,500 square feet for 2.5 years. In the second phase, the joint venture will construct the Borqs 5G industrial park, and the joint venture will be granted 13,000 square meter or meter square of commercial residential land to be used as communication center for the guest building. That is a really bullish PR, and that was actually released back in the 3rd of December. Borqs Technologies, yeah, so we already got this one here, the MOU. This one is back in November. Borqs India successfully demonstrated the next gen of TV smartphone One Media, a wholly owned subsidiary of Sinclair Broadcast Groups in the US. This one goes on based on the ATSC 3.0 to One Media 3.0, a wholly owned subsidiary of Sinclair Broadcast Group, a part of the station group's strategy is to ensure that next-gen TV one day is an integral part of mobile and other terminal devices. ATSC 3.0, a new broadcast signaling standard branded next-gen TV, is starting to break away from TV screen and gain its first foothold on smartphones. Next. Now this is I think this was 10Q filings, so this is actually the gaining of the compliance, and then the other one in between was 10Q filing. So they have compliance, that's good. They also have a partnership with Juniper Systems for enterprise-ready ultra-rugged Android devices. That was back in September 2nd, 2020. And now comes towards their basic results that we find on Yahoo, including their financials. Market cap is around 113 million. When we look into statistics, we get to see that the price over sales is 137, which is substantially less than the SP 500 average of 2 to 3. And you get to see as well in terms of financials here, income statement. What we get to see in the balance sheet, let's do quarterly here, is that their total cash here is around 1.2. Their total assets is around 55 million, give or take. That was all the way back in the mid of 2020. And then the next thing up, I think it just refreshed there. That's fine. And then total liabilities 98. So the total liabilities is more than total assets. Now, of course, around $18 million of that total liability is going to be paid off. They're virtually debt-free. Liability doesn't mean just debt. Net income per year, they burn through around $34 million. That's substantial. That's based on the averages a year. Now, on a quarter basis, I'm trying to load here. We don't get that information on Yahoo. But from 2017, 2018, 2019, you get to see somewhere around, I'll say an average of 20 million of cash burnout. So that is something that is interesting. I definitely don't like the balance sheet, but when you look into the price over sales, they are lower than the market average. Now, I'm not sure how accurate Yahoo is. When you go on towards FinViz, it shows 145, still below 2, and that's a good thing. Now, going on towards the technical analysis, if you haven't done so, please consider subscribing and leave notifications on. It helps my channel quite a lot and helps prove myself in the algorithms. Now, on a 1 week perspective, on the technical analysis, we get to see here that things are looking a little bit better than they were before. We get to observe that on the momentum line, it's actually gone quite positive. Good thing as well. And then MACD here, you get to see it's actually climbing up, so that's a good thing. It's stable, it's not going negative. Willing %R is stable, so it's still on the overbought section. ADX is suggesting that there might be a pullback. Moving averages are all going from bearish to bullish, except the 200 SMA that is yet to be broken at the 528. On a 1 day perspective, just as it loads here, just a quick note onto the 1 week perspective, we are expecting a bit of a pullback. On the 1 day perspective, we see a golden cross was seen on the 10th of February, and it played really nicely. Golden cross is between when the 50 SMA crosses the 200 SMA. And you see on the 10th, it played really nicely on the 13th, or on the 11th, my bad, on the Feb. Now, 50 SMA is above 200 SMA, that's bullish. 10 SMA, the green line, is above 30 EMA, that's bullish. And that's the trading action zone between 184 and 154. You can expect positive reversals to occur in that area, and that's a good thing. Now, willing %R is a little bit towards the overbought section, but heading a little bit towards neutral. And momentum is retracting a little, and so is MACD. And what that says is just there is a little bit of a pullback here to be seen, and that's completely fine. The trading action zone, positive reversals are likely, is probably going to be at the line of the 184. So it still has room to grow, even though it still hasn't gone back to the 116, for instance. we're going to look into the averages and whatnot. On a 2-hour perspective, before moving on, you get to see that it looks like it is in the trading action zone. It's playing within that trading action zone nicely on here. The trading action zone where positive reversals are likely right now is between 249 and 222. And that's playing actually nicely here. MACD looks like it's basically stabilizing. Nothing other else is interesting in this level. Now, on moving average band, 169 at the top, 154 in the middle, and 138 in the bottom. Stochastic fast and stochastic slower, both showing that there is a potential for another leg up for this one. Now, coming on towards the Fibonacci retracements, if we were to go between 334 and 112, we get to see here that significant support sits at 249, 223, 197, 164. Significant resistance, 286 and 334. Now, if we were to just go ahead with price line actions, what we get to see here is that significant support lies at this 250. Below there, we're looking at 229. Below there, 217. Below there, 189. Below there, you're looking at 169. Below there, you're looking at 138. Significant resistances, 255 and 295, followed by 309. Now, it comes to the question to Ed, what do you think about this one? Now, if we were to look into a trend in the 6 months, now I can go ahead and draw trend lines, but you have these 2 massive candles that I'm not able to place. Now, if you were to look back at where it was before, it was accumulating back in 2017, somewhere around the 10 bucks. And then it massively tanked down to 4 bucks and then back up to 10 bucks. And you get to see down to 2 bucks. So I'm expecting it went back up to around 6 bucks. It had this massive green wick candles. And so you get to see this one here. Someone likes to pump it and dump it every now and then. Or there is a little bit of interest and then it gets lost after a couple of weeks. This one here doesn't look as much of a strong push as I would imagine. But I mean, not as strong in terms of speed, but I would imagine that it will probably climb slowly. Keep in mind, a significant support for it to stay up, that I can consider that it to be the ultimate support, would be around the 152. If it stays above there, it has a chance. The next one is around 198. Just keep an eye on these 2 levels. What do you think about the sticker? Make sure to mention down in the comments below. Share, subscribe, and like. Have a wonderful day.